So today we're going to be installing a backup camera into a Nissan Altima. For the most part, if your car that you're working on looks like this, maybe not this color, but the same body style, it's really simple and straightforward. As you can see, there is no navigation system in here, just a standard mirror up there, and the owner, all she really wanted was just a backup camera so she can see what's going on behind her. So we're going to go ahead and change this whole unit out, run the wires up behind here, go down, and all the way to the back of the trunk. So the camera's going to be going right here. And to access this area of the trunk, we're going to have to take all of this down, which looks like it's just being held on by some push pins. So we'll go ahead and pop all those push pins off, and then we'll start going backward, running the wire all the way to the front of the vehicle. If this is the first time you've ever seen this type of pin, it's really simple to operate. All you have to do is insert a flathead, pop it off like that, pull the center piece, and then the whole pin will just come out. Because as you can see, when you press it in, it causes the expansion to hold it into place. So this is going to come off really easy. Now to get the bumpers off, it's really simple. Insert the flathead, twist, and there you go. It goes flying down the road just like that. There they are, really simple. We'll go ahead now and just pull this liner down. The entire trunk down. Now what we're going to want to do is look up underneath and see how is that metal grish being held in. And you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3 bolts that are holding that in. So we're going to go ahead and get those bolts off, and then it should just pop right off. Got an 8mm right here. Just going to go ahead and pop those things off. Unfortunately, I don't have my sockets with me because this is kind of like a remote job. So at least I got these wrenches. Nothing that I can't figure it out. The 3 8mm out, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the trunk release button, which is right here. Just going to press in and pull. That's it. Now with all of that done, we're going to go ahead and give our lid a little wobble just to see exactly how's it being held on. It looks like the only thing that's holding it in place are those plastic retaining clips. You got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 plastic retaining clips. So we're going to go ahead, squeeze them, and then pull. That's it. So with that being done, you can go ahead and just pull that off. And as you can see, it's not wanting to come off completely because there's a grommet right here. So to get the grommet, you're going to squeeze and pull at the same time. There you go. The whole lip is off, so we can go ahead and drill into our spot right there, which is nicely marked. And then you can see we're going to have to drill into the trunk right here. Or we can try and take advantage of, nope, we're going to have to drill right there, right in the middle. So let's go ahead, get this part drilled, come back out here and drill that part. So one of you guys went ahead and sent me a camera saying that, hey, I didn't do all the cameras on Amazon, and you are correct. I did not do all the cameras on Amazon, and I wanted to pick the cameras that were below $30. And one of you guys went ahead and sent me a camera here that is about $80. I did not go ahead and I didn't even bother reviewing this camera just because of the price point. It's a very expensive camera. I understand it comes with the ability to sense if a person's walking behind you, but it's expensive. We're going to go ahead and put it into this car, and then we'll see from there how well it works out. The camera is completely metal, and it has a Sony processor in here, or Sony chip, that's what they pretty much call it, and it has a sensor within the camera that detects movement. So if somebody's walking behind your vehicle, you're going to get a little symbol flashing inside the car that there's somebody walking behind you, which is pretty neat. That's pretty cool. And the other thing I love about this camera is that the wire comes from right underneath. This is very similar to the camera that won second place, and the install is just going to be really straightforward. Just going to drill one hole and just shove it in that way, and then we'll drill another hole and then make the turn going into the body of the vehicle. So let's go ahead, get this drilled out, get that drilled out, and then start wiring our wires to the front of the car. The cool thing about the Nissan is they already pretty much gave you an area of where it's going to be, and I've already put a little dot. That scratch was already there, so don't blame me. So I'm going to go just below it, and always start off with a smaller drill bit than the size that you plan on putting in. So I'm going to go ahead and very carefully start drilling into it. Now we'll go ahead and run the camera through. Goes in perfect. And you're going to use the nut that they supply you with right here. Easy to use. It's already got a cutout end. Slide it over the cable like that. And you're going to do this by hand. You're not going to use any power tools. And go ahead and come over on this side. You're going to try and keep it as straight as you can. Now keep in mind, this is plastic, so don't go over tightening anything. You want it to be tight, but you don't want it to be Hulk tight. See right there, camera's in. You can make the minor adjustment to make it as straight as you want. The nut's been tightened. So now we're going to go to the car, and we're going to go ahead and drill our hole into the trunk. Let's go ahead and position this to where it would be, and then we're going to look behind and see where the cable is. That way we can go ahead and drill our hole without causing any issues. And it looks like as long as we're lined up with this hole here, we should be fine. And I see right where that cable is, so I'm going to come take this off, and I'm just going to mark a little spot right there. So pretty much either anything below there is going to be perfectly fine. So we're going to go get our drill through, pass the wires onto the inside. Now that the hole is done, we'll go ahead and pass the wire through. So now we have to figure out how to get power from that reverse lamp there. So we're going to come inside the vehicle where I've already taken apart a good chunk of it, and we're going to start probing wires with our trusty tool over here. So the reverse lamp, it looks like this is the harness right here for the entire system. I'm going to go ahead and unplug that. Okay, so with the harness unplugged, I'm able to go ahead and touch each connection until I figure out which one is the one that's providing me with reverse. And it appears it is the connection all the way on the bottom left. So in this situation, it's this one right there. So that means that the wire that is getting power to there is the purple wire. So the purple wire is going to be our reverse cable. We can go ahead and touch, yep, sure enough, the purple wire is it. Now we're gonna take our power supply, which is this right here, and we're gonna tap into the purple right there. We're just gonna clip on right to it, so whenever the vehicle is in reverse, the camera is gonna get power. Those of you that have watched my Mercedes video, let me say thank you. And we're gonna go ahead and use the tap to get us the power for this unit. So I'm going to go ahead and just put the tap in. And actually, if I really wanted to, I could follow that purple wire all the way back to here. Slide the tap up underneath. Just wedge it in there. And then close it. Take the tool and lock it in. So we're ahead, we're locked in. We're going to test the connection by using our method. As you can see, I went ahead and I tapped the negative to the black cable and I tapped the positive to the purple cable. The purple cable is the reverse, so everything here will power up the camera perfectly as soon as it's thrown into reverse. So now for this part, since we got our power already hooked up, we got the camera there, we just have to connect the two. And this particular camera comes with the adapter for it. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and plug it in, start routing everything over in this direction, and then from there we'll be able to send our video cable all the way to the front of the vehicle. So let's go ahead and get that part done. Okay, so now I'm inside the vehicle. I'm going to start routing that video cable. I want to make sure I get this before I plug in all those connections in the back, that way I can see how much slack I have. You can see I pulled two of the pins out, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run this with those cables all the way to the back of the vehicle. Not really a big deal. Not really a big deal, so I'm just going to go behind the seatbelt just like that. Go like this, and then I'll pull it all the way to the back. And at the same time, I'm going to take this and I'll run it. Whoop. Go ahead and run this behind the seat belt. So you can see I went ahead and ran it behind the seatbelt. I'm pulling it up now, and I'm just going to give myself some slack to go behind this metal pillar, just like that. And I'm going to leave the cable sitting on the back, just like that. That way I can get back here and finish running my wires to there. I have the video cable sitting right there. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a pull, and I'm going to run it along with this one up to here. I'm going to run it along that cable over there, and I'm going to make a crossover in this direction and come up and connect. So let me go ahead and get that part done. Are wrapped up nicely, everything's all plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and put this thing back. What I'm going to do is go ahead and take the rear view mirror off. If you guys have never done this before in a Nissan, it's probably the hardest one to take off. You got to get a flat head and push it as hard as you can straight back. Do not bend. Do not twist, just straight back, and you'll feel that spring. There's a little hole right here. You're gonna go ahead, push all the way back. There you go. That's it. There's the spring right there on the back side. So just straight back, that's the key. Do not twist, do not push. Rear view mirror out of the way, we need to map out how we're going to plan on running the wire all the way down to the electrical panel, which is right here. And the best way to go ahead and do this is we got to take this trim off the side of the car. Alright guys, got a little bit distracted there, so I'm just going to explain what happened. I popped this off, and then right behind it there is a Phillips screw, and then that just drops down naturally, and then that just pulls off, and then that leaves you with this situation right here. And now you're going to start to begin to map out how you're going to run the wire, and as you can see I need to get this pillar off to make sure that my cables go behind the airbag. So let's go ahead and get that pillar off. I just pulled this clip off, and now you can see the pillar is moved back enough for me to get my cables through, down, and then into the electrical panel. And the important thing is when you pull the pillar off, you want to come at it at an angle and then just pull straight back. You never want to pull these things cockeyed because you end up breaking them. Just remember, these things are designed to break so an airbag can come down. So they're fragile, but at the same time they can take a little bit of pulling. So now that I have everything the exact way that I want it, I'm going to begin to route my cables through all the way down. Got my camera here, my backup camera system. If you guys are not familiar with this, it's inside my F-150 video. I use the exact same setup. I've always been pleased with this whole system. So what I'm going to go do now is position this right here. Just drops right in just like that, and then the cables are going to hook up, and then I'm going to take just a little bit of electrical wire, tie it off, and then I should be good to go to come all the way down here. So let me go ahead and get that part done. There you go. That's all nice, that's clean. The only thing we have to do is take the Allen key and screw it in. Now we're going to go ahead and shove all of this through. We're going to follow the trail of wires and get us into that electrical box. Let's go ahead and get that part done. So as you can see, I went ahead and just used an aux cable because I didn't have my fishing line. I know, right guys? Today is like my complete nightmare. This is probably my hardest install I've ever done, and the reason is, the moral of the story guys, if you're going to a remote location and you're going to be doing an install, plan for the worst and bring everything. And I know it's difficult at times, but just bring everything, because I made a mistake today. I made multiple mistakes, but I'm showing you guys that even with the mistakes that I made, it's still possible to get done. And just gotta use a little bit of creativity and ingenuity. Now I did use that aux cable. I dropped it down right through there, so I was able to fish up this wire. Now what I'm gonna do is go behind all of this to pop up on the other side, because there's a nice curved groove on that side where I can run the cable up. So I have everything wired in. The only thing I have to do now is find the correct fuse and then just hook up my video cables. So let's go ahead and find the correct fuse. So the way that I powered up the camera is I used the add a fuse, and the location that I chose is position number 1, 2, 3, third one in on the top row. And then I just took it, put it in, and then I grounded it right here to this metal plate with the e-brake. Now, for the hood release, sorry. Now what I'm going to do is get the cable ran underneath all of this. Really easy, just like the Mercedes video, which is right here. I'm going to run it just right along the trim until I get to here, plug it in, and I'll be good to go. I just have to turn on the car. You're going to have a lot of excess cable left after you're done running it. You're going to want to hoard it all in this corner right here. So here I got all the cable. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it all up and then stick it in that corner. Now we're all done. We can go ahead and test the system. Simply just throw the car into reverse. There we go. Have our nice little backup camera. Unfortunately, let's see the quality. I mean, what's nice is you know how close you can really get to a car because of that angle. The bad news is, unlike our other cameras that we tested that you can change the angle on, this is pretty fixed. Quality is probably the same as the others. So overall, I would give this camera probably good, maybe fair. It's not the best. It's definitely not the best camera that we chose from the $30 and under category. And if you guys still really haven't seen that video, it's right here. So you guys can click on that link. And hopefully this install helped some of you guys out that have Altimas and Nissans, because it's going to be pretty much the same for all Nissans with the coloring and the wires back there. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this install. And I'd like to thank you for watching. I know those of you that are subscribers, and if you guys sat through this whole thing and watched it, kudos to you. You are effing awesome, because that's pretty cool. I don't think I would have sat through an install of a car that I really didn't want to see or didn't care about. So if you guys that are new to this channel enjoyed the installation and the instructions, please hit that subscribe button down here, and then give me a big thumbs up. If you have any questions about this, let me know in the comments section, and check out my other videos. Check out my project over here that I'm working on with the C300. And then you can also take a look at the Z3 and some fun stuff that I've been doing down here in Florida. And take care, guys. Thank you for watching. Hey guys, what's going on? That's stupid. Hey guys, what's going on? I got exciting, kind of boring